In this video, we are going to talk about how your family members could travel to Canada despite travel restrictions of COVID-19. But before I continue, please subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. First of all, I need to let you know that because of coronavirus, the government of Canada has imposed several travel restrictions. This means that foreign nationals may not travel to Canada unless they are exempted from those restrictions. By foreign national, I refer to people who are not permanent residents of Canada or Canadian citizens. If you are not familiar with this concept, I have a video that I will post the link up here. However, if you are a family member of a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, then you could come to Canada if you qualify for those elements that I will discuss in this video. Keep that in mind that this video unfortunately does not apply to the family members of international students or foreign workers or visitors or TRP holders who are currently inside Canada. There are some exceptional situations for them that they may join or reunite their family members, but those exceptions will not be discussed in this video. In this video, we are talking about a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident who resides in Canada, and then about their family members who want to visit them. Who is a family member? The government of Canada divides family members for the purpose of travel restrictions to immediate family members and extended family members. So let's talk about them separately because the conditions for each group to come to Canada varies. Who is immediate family member? An immediate family member is your spouse, your common law partner, or your dependent child. A dependent child means a child who is not married and under 22 years old, or who is not in a common law relationship and under 22 years old. There are some exceptional cases that a child could be dependent even if they are over 22. It means that the child is dependent to you because of significant medical or mental health issues. And those situations need to exist before they turned 22. Other than spouse, common law partner, and also dependent children, we could also consider parents of a Canadian citizen or permanent resident to be dependent family members, and tutors. The concept of tutor or guardian refers to the custodian of a minor Canadian child who needs to be here in Canada to take care of that child. In other words, somebody who has the legal custody of that child, and that person is a foreign national, but the child is a permanent resident of Canada or a Canadian citizen. So let's recap. When we are talking about immediate family members, we are referring to the parents, dependent children, spouses or common law partners, and also tutors or guardians or custodians of the Canadian citizen or permanent resident of Canada. If somebody is your immediate family member, then they may travel to Canada without authorization. However, don't get too excited. There are a few things that you need to do. First of all, that person needs to already hold a TRV or an ETA depending on their nationalities. If that person is a US citizen, then they don't need ETA or TRV. But for the rest of the population, they normally need a TRV or temporary resident visa for the purpose of visiting Canada, or they need an electronic travel authorization if they are exempt from a TRV. Without those documents, they may not travel to Canada. They also need to show that you are a Canadian citizen or permanent resident of Canada. For showing that, they could present a copy of your Canadian passport or your Canadian birth certificate or your citizenship certificate or citizenship card or permanent residency card. Those documents could convince a border services officer and also the airline that they are visiting a Canadian citizen or permanent resident of Canada. On top of that, I personally recommend that they present some documents, at least 1 or 2 documents that they show you currently reside in Canada. For example, your cell phone bill or your hydro bill or other similar documents. So what about themselves? They claim that they are an immediate family member. To show that they are an immediate family member, they need to show documents such as a marriage certificate, such as a birth certificate, or other documentation that could build this chain with you that you are related and you are immediate family members. If they do not prove that, they cannot travel to Canada. Also keep in mind that if they are presenting a document, that document is not in English or French languages, then it is important that they officially translate those documents. What about extended family members? The first thing that you need to know for extended family members is that just like immediate family members, they need to hold proper documents like a TRV, like an ETA to travel to Canada, or if they are US citizens, they don't need any of those. If the person does not hold one of those documents, unfortunately, they cannot even apply for travel exemptions. Those documents are necessary. So if your family member does not hold a valid visit visa to Canada or an ETA, they need to apply for one first. And then when they receive that, they can go through the process of travel exemptions. Who is an extended family member? An extended family member includes these people. Your adult child, this means a child who is over 22 years old, or if they are under 22, they are married. Your grandparents, your siblings, it means your brothers or sisters, or step siblings or half siblings. We are also looking at a person who has been in relationship with you exclusively for a period of at least 1 year, and that relationship is a conjugal relationship. And within that 1 year, you have visited each other in person at least once. So we are talking about grandparents, we are talking about adult children, we are talking about siblings, we are talking about conjugal partners, and also grandchildren. Unfortunately, other people are not included in the extended family member definition. For example, you cannot include uncles and aunts or nephews and nieces. And as a reminder, we're talking about extended family members of a permanent resident of Canada or a Canadian citizen. Unfortunately, the process for extended family members is not as easy as the process for immediate family members. If your extended family member wants to visit you here in Canada, they need to go through the process of authorization. The process includes filling out a form called IMM 0006. That form needs to be filled by you, the Canadian citizen or permanent resident. You need to send that form to your extended family member to sign. After they sign it, they need to send it back to you. Then you need to take this to a commissioner of oath, a lawyer, a notary public, or a justice of peace, and you need to sign it in front of that person. In other words, this is like a notarized or official signature on that form. On top of that, you also need to have a bunch of documents. Those documents show the relationship between you two, and also it shows that why they want to come to Canada, and the accommodations for quarantine, which I will talk about it later. When you have all those documents, you will email them to IRCC. They have a special email address for that purpose. and you send all the documents to them. They will review those documents, and then if they are satisfied that this is an extended family member who also has proper documents to travel to Canada and a proper plan, they will issue an exemption. When you have the exemption, you send the exemption with other documents, including that signed form, to your family member. They can go through the process of purchasing their air tickets, getting permission from the airline to board the airplane, and when they come to Canada, present it to a border services officer, so they will allow them to enter Canada and join you. Whether your family member is an immediate family member or an extended family member, they need to visit you for at least 15 days. Why? Because for 14 days, they need to quarantine. Quarantine means that they have to go to an isolated location. They need to have a special plan for their food and consumable products such as toilet paper. And they also need to show that there are arrangements out there that they can take care of their medical needs and other essential needs. You need to prepare a plan, and that plan needs to be in writing, and you need to show that to immigration authorities, to the border services authorities, and to the airline, so everybody will allow you to enter Canada. If somebody comes to Canada and they do not follow the quarantine plan, they could face several issues. The big one is that because they are in contravention of the Immigration Act, they could actually receive a removal order, which is an exclusion order. They will be removed from Canada and they may not come back to Canada for at least 1 year. If the officers decide to turn this into a deportation order, then the ban from going back to Canada will become indefinite unless they apply for an authorization to return to Canada. On top of receiving a removal order, they could face up to $75,000 in fines, and they could also face up to 6 months in jail. That could potentially also include you as the person who invites your family member to Canada. So you have to be very careful in terms of following the quarantine plan. So let's recap. First of all, this process of exemption despite COVID-19 only applies to family members of Canadian citizens or permanent residents of Canada. The second one is that you need to make sure that that family member actually holds a temporary resident visa or an ETA that is valid and they can come to Canada. The third one is that you need to have a quarantine plan in place, so when they come to Canada, they can quarantine and follow that quarantine plan. Depending on whether they are your immediate family members or extended family members, there needs to be a plan in place that based on that plan, they can come to Canada, receive proper authorization, so it makes it possible for them to travel to Canada. Last but not least, is the very fact that coronavirus situation is a fluid situation. At any point of time, all these policies could change, so make sure that you follow announcements by IRCC. I will also publish videos accordingly and publish articles accordingly to make sure that we keep ourselves up to date about those developments. So whatever I'm saying today, it may not be valid in a week from now or a few weeks from now, or it could slightly or significantly change. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Parsai. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I teach immigration consulting at Ashton College. I am the author of 88 Tips on Immigration to Canada. You can purchase your copy by visiting 88tips.ca. I show you where you can purchase this book. It's available through Amazon websites. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications. See you soon.